But episode 10, just exhausting. Like, I'm so sick of hearing about Amanda and Juliet needing to reconcile, or Amanda needs to apologize to Juliet, but Juliet doesn't take any accountability. And then the Australian Juliet is taking the American Juliet side, but she she's only seeing it one sided, and she doesn't care about what she's only hearing. Or I don't know. So they leave. They had. I think they already left Scotland, and the ladies find out when they're leaving that they get a bill. They're getting a bill from the castle, and so they were just like, "What the fuck?" Or I probably shouldn't have said this so early, but what is going on here? And so there was like this event that happened, and Panthea, Amanda, I think Amanda, Karen, and Nessie were there. And Panthea and her big ass mouth, she always talking, and she was like talking to Nessie about it in front of these people, and I don't know who they were, or I guess these, highfalutin people, and she was just like, um, "You gotta, did you guys get the bill? I can't believe it. It's so low class of her." And then she goes in on like the business a little bit, and Nessie's like, "This is not the right place to talk about this." In the confessional, but I'm like, I knew she wasn't gonna say that to Panthea's face, because Nessie ain't about that life. What happened after that? Then we find out Juliet is holy. Juliet, wait, I forgot. Juliet is hosting a soap launch party or whatever, a washing powder. I don't know. Some kind of soap situation, and so then Juliet and Panthea, I mean Juliet and Nessie, they have like this interesting friendship. No, 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 no. Panthea, who went to lunch? Juliet had info they were going to send the bill. So and yeah, it was Juliet. Yeah, Juliet and Nessie went to lunch or breakfast or whatever, and they were talking about the bill, and so I do find it a little dirty. Okay, here's what happens. Here's where I was like, okay, Juliet, she got something fishy going on. She's messy, but she doesn't want to come off as messy. Juliet, you got something's going on with you, boo. Juliet, you were told by the staff or the castle people that they were gonna send bills out to the ladies. And I think it was like, we're gonna send, if they go over a limit or if they do extra stuff, we're gonna send bills out. And Juliet was like, she knew that, but she didn't get around to telling the girls that. So you a messy ass bitch for doing that, Juliet. You really are messy, because Panthea was like, oh, not Panthea. Nessie was like, if I had that information, I would have told the just to send the bill to me. Well, Juliet over here starting a soap company, so she making ends meet. She can't afford five, and I think everybody. It might have been like total. Everybody was probably like 500, $600. Cause then she ended up like sending this WhatsApp app, this WhatsApp thing, and she ended up sending the this long ass text messages talking about, we looked at the tape, we looked at the cameras in the castle, and saw that Karen had $15 worth of burgers or something, and then Amanda had $20 worth of margaritas or something like that. So or it was like $100 or something. So I'm just like, this is a fucking mess, and it's all Juliet's part. And then I think in episode 10, Panthea talks about how she took I forgot the specifics, but she took off her name. Juliet took off her name off of the castle from being like co-owner to like investor or something. She like demoted herself in the name. So Juliet, either you really struggling for money or you doing some seedy shit. And I don't know if it's for the cameras or what. Nessie had a problem. What did Nessie have a problem with? I don't remember. Oh, Nessie had yeah. Nessie did have a problem with Panthea talking about the stuff at the party. She's like, it's not the right time. Karen and Juliet did Pilates. Okay, so Karen, and American Juliet, they went into Pilates, and we get this perspective of whose perspective? Oh, Ju- I think Karen was trying to figure her out, be friendly towards her, get more information about her, and Juliet ended up just like talking about Amanda again. Like any moment on this show, whether it's with her child, whether it's at work, whether it's, at her dinner parties, Juliet is sitting here talking about Amanda, and I'm so glad this season is over because I'm so sick of hearing about Amanda and Juliet. Like it just turned into like the Amanda and Juliet show. I'm like, and nobody else got no other beef. Y'all can't drum on something else real quick because I'm so sick of hearing about. Juliet was like nagging, like she wants an apology from me. Well, I want an apology from her for all the things that she said. She just scrunches up her face. By the way, Juliet does not look like that. Maybe it's the angle, maybe it's a little retouching. Juliet doesn't look like this. I want an apology from Amanda. And I'm just like, please shut the fuck up. So then there's this party. Whose party was it? Somebody had a party. And Juliet walks in. Oh! We're at the soap launch for where's she at? For is what Cocoa something. I don't know. It was like an all natural soap that I'm just like hilarious. I like not hilarious. I just like a soap. Like girl, she really just trying to keep the millions in with a soap launch. I was just like, what? And I just like I was cracking up because I'm just like, Juliet is not gonna take on anybody's castle debt because she over here launching a soap. So they're at the soap launch, and Karen walks in, and Karen is talking to Nessie, and Juliet then walks in. Oh, Karen was talking to Nessie about the Pilates date, and Karen was just telling Nessie, I feel like she still has like a chip on her shoulder. Juliet still has a chip on her shoulder about Amanda because she just keeps talking about her, and she just like she wants to be friends with her, and I don't think she knows how. And that's the whole thing again. Like, why does Juliet keep wanting to reconcile or keep allowing herself to be in a reconciliation period with Amanda? If Amanda, talks about you dirty, treats you so bad, etc., etc., etc. And we still don't know why Amanda sent those voice messages about her Juliet doing some promo work for her makeup line. Are we gonna get to that at the reunion? I gotta find time to watch the reunion. So she walks in. She walks in, and Kara's like, "Oh, we were just look who just walked in. The horse, the devil. Oh, not the devil. She just like the. We were just talking about you." And Julia's like, "Why are you talking about me? Don't be talking about me. Because the last time I saw you, you were telling me I was getting red for Phil." And then they flash back to Juliet's point of view of the Pilates date. And Karen was like, "Girl, wait, what did she say? I wrote it down. Oh shoot! Oh, you got your ass what?" Karen said, "You got your ass what?" She was going in on you, and then Juliet was just sitting there pouting like, and I was cracking up. She's like, "The last time you talked to me, you said I got a red for Philip, so I don't want to talk to you right now." So she's like, "Y'all go ahead and keep talking about me, and I'm gonna go." And Karen's like, "We're gonna do that. You go ahead and walk away. We're gonna keep talking about you. You just walk away." That was hilarious. If it wasn't for Karen on this show, where would we be? We would be sitting here watching them other ladies talk about nothing because I'm just like, Karen is hilarious and just effortlessly hilarious. Okay, so then that was the end of that. But Juliet, since we're at her soap launch, she gets on my nerves because she's like, I want you guys to come into my soap launch. You know, I started some. They still didn't even really get into the excuse me, they didn't really get into. There wasn't like a big confrontation about Juliet and this Bill thing on camera, at least, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. They didn't get into that. I don't know what that was about. But they did get into it at the last episode, which I was kind of like, it's a girls' trip. It was set up as like a girls' trip. Let me go back to that right quick. It was set up as a girls' trip. And so I was like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up that, they got to pay whatever, whatever. And, what's the, hey, you isn't fitting the bill. Whoever the people that are doing the show, airing the show. How you isn't fitting the bill. I was like, that's kind of fucked up. But then Juliet was like, well, do you guys think it's really um, okay that you guys do extra or like buy extra stuff and or get champagne and all this other stuff and not have to pay for it? And I was like, and then it dawned on me that Juliet was told, she said it in her confessional, she was like, she was told that they were gonna have to even they were gonna have to pay for extras if they use extras, but she just didn't tell everybody. And so in that's fucked up. You ain't gotta, yeah. If it's $1, $2, you should have told them that they were gonna have to pay. It's probably a word for it. They're gonna have to pay for the extra stuff that they use, or drink, or eat, or whatever. Oh yeah, and then Juliet, she gets on my nerves with that girl power shit. Like, come and support my business, and I don't want any drama at my business. You guys got to get along, and it's just like, no. How are you gonna say that when you have your best friend over here always starting shit with Amanda, and you don't say anything. And then Panthea, she sits at the head of the table and starts the shit with Amanda, and you don't stop her, but you want everybody to get along. I can't believe she is cooking down like this. I was rooting for Juliet in the beginning. I was like, Juliet is cool. Juliet and that, I keep saying this, that dinner shit was so crazy. But then she just started moving different. I'm just like, Juliet. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I can't believe you did this to me. So at the soap party, Amanda was like, Juliet, let's have lunch. Let's talk about yada yada yada. So they end up planning like the next day or whatever. Juliet's in there waiting for her, Amanda, to come in. Amanda is about 30, no, she was like an hour late or something like that. And so she's just like, I'm so sorry. Her nipples out. I mean, her nipples coming through the dress. She's like, I'm just. She sat down with some. What was she drinking? That was so funny. She brought her own beverage. Juliet sits down with Amanda, and she's just like, "I'm so sorry." And Amanda's like, "Well, what's going on? Like, why are you so like hostile or like, so like tensed up right now?" She's like, Amanda's like, "Well, I'm just busy and it's the end of the school year. I'm just trying to take care of my child." And then Amanda's like, "Oh yeah, my child didn't get a graduation because of COVID and yada yada yada." And so Juliet's like, yeah, I kind of, yeah, 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 yeah. And then Amanda takes the moment and the effort to say, "I'm very sorry for calling you a bad mom. I know that hurt you." And Juliet's like, "Well, a lot of things hurt me," and yada yada yada. And so Amanda's just like, "Well, I'm sorry about that." And so Juliet says, "Oh no," Amanda was like, "Well, I'm really hurt and I'm really hurt at the white witch comment that you say. White calling me a white witch. And Julia's like, well, everybody's been calling you a white witch. She's basically like, everybody's been calling you a white witch, so why does it matter for me? Instead of taking the moment and say, oh, that hurt you, I'm sorry. See, Julia doesn't want to apologize for shit. Whether she started it in the beginning or not, Juliet doesn't want to apologize for saying anything nasty, anything low down, anything dirty to Amanda, and I don't know what that's about. And it's annoying when you want to give, I mean, you can't receive, when you want to receive and you can't give. That doesn't work as like these housewives type. You gotta be on an even playing field. And you, even if you go, the 2 episodes later and start some more shit, at least you apologize. You got to move on. She's not moving on, and I don't understand. Maybe that's why Ladies of London got canceled because I don't get this shit. Um, and so Amanda, gets hype, but she's like, "Well, Amanda has like this revelation that the friend that Juliet introduced to Amanda wasn't a good person." Oh, she said, your friend, I don't know why you keep saying everybody's calling me that. You call me that, and your friend called me that. So you're going off of the girl being nasty. And so Juliet is just like, well, you're jealous. And Amanda goes back to, you're a bad mom and you're no class. And then Juliet brings up, like, you're not self made. You get all your money from your houses from, oh, she was like, Amanda's like, you live in, I guess she was calling Paddington the ghetto. I don't know much about Paddington over there, over here. But she was like, you live in Paddington and it's a rat infested and it's a swamp. And if that was Julia's house at the finale, that is interesting. I don't know, maybe just London and over there in certain areas. It's interesting that she looked like she lived on a high. I'm not gonna say that, but she looked like she lived on a highway. Because when she opened the gate to her like backyard, you can see it's like a busy street, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And it's not like it's like a gated community, or her house is gated. It's just like the backyard fence opens up onto the sidewalk, and over on the sidewalk is this busy looking street. I don't know, but she was like, "You live in a swamp. You got rat infested." Also, oh, we're not there yet. But she's like, "You live in a swamp and there's rat infested." And Juliet's like, "Well, you get all your money from your man, from your husband, and you bought your house from your husband's money." And that's their whole thing. I think they are just so jealous and so, um, even Panthea, jealous, judgmental about however way Amanda has gotten her money, whether it's based off her looks, being a model, her current looks now. She doesn't look horrible, but she looks like a very well kept 50-year-old white woman. And so I'm just like, they just come off so jealous of her. When I don't even think there's nothing to be jealous about. Besides, I guess maybe her settlement was really hefty or something, or maybe the rumors are so delicious that it sounds like it could be true. The way Panthea be talking about it, so I don't know what's up with Amanda and the ladies. And so then uh Juliet stands up and she's like, "You're jealous, yada yada yada." And so Amanda says, "Bucks up," and she said, "You ain't gonna buck up at me." And she said, "Get your ass back to Paddington, bitch." Actually, that read was a little bit better on Twitter, the way they talked about it. It wasn't hitting as hard as I thought it was watching it live. But she was like, she put her glasses on, her nipples out, her pink dress nipples out, and she said, "You get back to Paddington, get out of my get out of my neighborhood." That's a good one. Oh my God, that's a good one. Get out of my neighborhood. That's one for the books right there, Amanda. You did that one good, Amanda. And so the next episode, we see the producers are like, "Amanda, please sit down. Amanda, please." And I don't know why they gotta act like Amanda. Amanda like was titty to titty with Juliet. So I'm just like, Amanda wasn't gonna do nothing. And Juliet really wasn't gonna do nothing because Juliet is a fake ass punk ass. She's the one to talk behind your back, yada yada yada. So we see Amanda sit down, and she's like, they still going at it, back at it a little bit, and they escort Juliet out, and Juliet is still like talking. People in the streets, what's your opinion on Amanda, whatever her last name is? And I'm just like, please let this go, girl. Just let it go. Get in your car. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing. Just get in your car and shut up. And then we see Amanda get in her Bentley and drive off, while Juliet is walking down a couple of blocks looking for her Range Rover, yelling at the camera. All right, so the next episode, finally, the finale, episode 10. Panthea and Nessie have lunch with their families. I don't know what that was about. I really don't. I guess it was just to talk about nothing because that's really what they were doing. Panthea and Nessie, they're talking about nothing. Um, Amanda always has energy for me. I think that was Juliet, when Juliet had called the other Juliet to tell her about what happened. Uh, and she was just like, "Oh, Amanda always has energy for me," and I'm just like, "But you're acting like you're not doing anything to agitate her or to instigate her or to whatever." I'm forgetting the words. You just acting like you're such the fucking victim, and it's so annoying. She got up out of her seat and got in my face. Well, you did the same thing. And then they go over to Juliet's place for her event, whatever she was having. Come make some charm bracelets. And everybody comes except for Amanda, of course. And so then um, she's getting everything together. Juliet's getting everything together. And I'm just like, this is so fucking boring. She is so boring. I need to hurry up and watch the reunion. But Julia is just like getting stuff together, and she's walking around barefooted. And like, okay, cool, it's your house, you're barefooted. But somehow the dogs get out and get to where the event area is, and all these like six giant turds just sitting there. And so she's walking down to greet Panthea in, and Panthea just sitting there, and she just like she's sitting outside the gate waiting to be let in. And Juliet is like, "Oh shoot, my dog shitted everywhere." So she's walking around barefooted, picking up the dog shit. I'm just like, "Oh, this is too close of a call for me." I couldn't. And so Panthea's sitting there for like 5 minutes, like, okay. Finally, she opens the door. So then, anyways, so then they all sit down. Karen walked in like, hi, nice to be here. And Karen's like, I was really expecting a swamp. Karen is so funny. I love Karen. I keep saying it, but come on, Karen's the MVP. Because I really didn't think Karen was gonna give it like she's giving. But Karen is, like I keep saying, Karen is smart. Karen is witty. Karen is funny. Karen's on the right side of history, and Karen is with the shit. Don't play with Karen. Karen and Amanda, they're fun. So they're eating and they're talking, and guess who brings up Amanda? Juliet. This is where I was really getting tired because I'm just like, even the girl's not, and that's what Karen said. Karen's like, the girl's not even here, and you're talking about her. She's not even here. Juliet just had to inform Nessie and Panthea about the Nuck If You Buck situation. And I was just like, that was so unnecessary. Like, you just, it's like, it's almost giving obsessed. It's giving, I gotta talk about her to stay relevant on this show. And it's just like, my God, today. So the caviar man pulls up. You know, they talked about this a couple episodes, and they were like, Julia's like, Amanda still owes the caviar man food money for the caviar, and that's why they're done doing business. And they're just like, who cares? But then Karen, I'm just like, I love Karen so much. I'm just like, Karen, just stop trying to defend Amanda against this girl because she's not getting it. And it's just like, I don't know what it is about Panthea and Juliet, but it's like they can do everything but not take ownership and not apologize for shit. But the second you buck at them, they're the victim. They want to pop back and, you know, what is it? Hide, throw the rock and hide the in a glass. Whatever. I don't know. They're just like they're two of the same, and they're annoying. I don't know what's gonna happen next season. What is gonna happen at this reunion? Because somebody was saying it was Nessie, Panthea, and Amanda, I think it was, that were like shockingly good. And I'm just like, what happened at this reunion? Because Nessie, she, you know, the last couple of episodes, she's been bucking up a little bit. Did she get a facelift or did she lose weight? I don't know. Let me know. She's been, you know, talking a little bit more, but Panthea, sometimes her little digs at Juliet make sense, but other than that, I don't understand. What does it say? No more talking about her. Oh, and then Juliet's like, okay, I'm done talking about. Oh. So she brings her up, and so Karen is defending Amanda and trying to get to like the point of Juliet's beef with Amanda, and Karen is really, she's being really inquisitive naturally. She's just like trying to figure it out because she's just like, why? I feel like she's just saying, she's thinking, why do they keep arguing and nothing keeps coming of the argument? Why do they keep trying to reconcile and nothing good keeps coming out? And so Juliet brings up, you know, how she was bucking at her, and Karen's like, well, what did you do to her to buck up for her to give you that reaction? Crickets, 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 crickets. And so Juliet, she was just like, she has a bad reputation around here. People were telling me, why am I even friends with her? And, you know, yada, yada, yada. And so Karen is like, well, what has Amanda done? What has Amanda done in this city that is so bad? And what is her reputation? And so uh, Karen's literally asking everybody at the table, have you heard anything bad about her reputation? Nessie just sitting there staring into space. Panthea pipes up, and and she's like, well, I've heard things for about 20 years about her, and nothing really, I've heard anything good. Just a bunch of rumors. And it's just like, okay. And then Juliet's like, well, the way she's been talking to my friend, the way she's been getting back at my friend, I don't really like it. I think it's a low class. And I'm just like, so nobody really has, uh, nobody except for not even Panthea, because she's just going off of rumors. But nobody really has any like distinctive answers about Amanda's reputation in the city around town. So I'm just like, I don't know. If you guys are in the UK and you guys know what Amanda is like about and her reputation, please let me know because I'm really like, what about this white lady? Do they got everybody shook or everybody so nasty towards her for no reason? And then Julia's like, okay, I'm tired of talking about her. Well, you brought her up. Pissing me off. So then I realized at the end it was Panthea's birthday party. And right before they walk in, see, Panthea's messy. Panthea's real messy because Amanda walks in, she's like the first to get there. And Panthea goes over to, Panthea's mom runs immediately over to Amanda. And it's like, hello, my gorgeous daughter. Hello, you are look so beautiful. You are wonderful. And Panthea's like, Mom, this is the lady I was telling you about that's having an issue with the other Juliet. And I just want to make sure we're gonna have a good night tonight. And it's just like, why you gotta bring that up? She just walked in the door. Messy ass. So Amanda is talking to Panthea because she heard about the rumor or whatever that she still owes the caviar dealer money, the caviar man. And so Panthea is like, I don't even think Panthea said anything. But Juliet was just like, I don't owe him money because I sent him a text. I asked him, he talking about? What was his deal with the money? And he never responded. That ended that. All while Juliet is walking in behind her, and Panthea's like, she's right there talking. And Juliet's like, I'm having this conversation with you, and I'm talking to you. Exactly. So they're mingling, everybody comes in. Um, Panthea finally meets Karen's husband. Also finding out that Karen's clothing line still hasn't, been launched or whatever is kind of shocking. But we'll ride with it, and it's called Just Because. Okay, I'm not gonna laugh because I love Karen. I love Karen, but just because I don't know what that means. Um, that's when I learned Juliet dropped the ball at the castle. Juliet was talking to the other Juliet, and she was like, um, I was I was told that Julia was like, I was told that Amanda wants me to apologize, but apologize for what? And then this other Juliet, annoying. I'm really like, and it's like, sometimes you can tell when people are playing a character or they're just being themselves. And I kind of feel like Juliet is being herself and she's not playing a character. Like, I think Panthea might be playing a character. It's so dramatic and so far fetched from an average person's personality and thoughts and mindset. Like she could be playing a character. But Juliet was like, they don't apologize, so why should we pretty much? And I'm just like, Juliet, you only know or you're only choosing to hear one side of the story. It's gonna be interesting what happens at this reunion. Then Panthea walks over to Juliet, both Juliets, and somehow borrowing clothes, that whole like borrowing clothes situation came back up, and yet again Juliet just sits there and like grins. So I'm guessing Juliet, something's up with you, boo. Something's up with you. And there's nothing wrong with borrowing clothes. Panthea is just being a little too dramatic, but it adds a notch to your messiness. And then Nessie tries to being annoying. That whole like, you ladies, let's just get along for Panthea. Nessie's like, Juliet. She's talking to Amanda. She's like, Juliet, Amanda, can we just like get along? What if we just have like a little like mini truce for the night? And Juliet, she's like calls Juliet over, and Juliet is like, oh, one also rewind to um her soap launch. Juliet has such a big issue with Amanda and wants to talk about her behind her back so much. But when Amanda came over to talk to Juliet about having that little dinner date or lunch date the next day, she looked so awkward, like, oh, I was just talking about you, awkward type situation. And like, she looked like she was afraid of Amanda. I don't know. It was, she's so weak in this situation. And it's so annoying to watch. But anyways, so Amanda, Juliet's like, you want an apology in the truth conversation for the night. She's like, you want an apology from me, but I'm not going to give you an apology. And then she was like, no, maybe she didn't say that. I think she was just like, I'm good with the truth. Yeah, we can have like a good night. And Amanda's like, yeah, we can have a good night, but I'm not, apologizing. And like it almost started to rile up again, and Amanda's like, "Fuck this," and I agree with Amanda. Just walk away because I'm so sick of hearing about this lady. She keeps talking about you. She doesn't want to take accountability, and it's wrong. And I feel like Amanda is being really gracious about how she could be reacting to this ridiculousness. Like Dorinda, Portia, Nene, they would cuss you out in a quick moment. Anyways, that was pretty much the end of the show. And I'm glad. And Nessie was just like, I'm so tired of trying to fix this. Exactly, because y'all can't fix this because everybody has to come on the same plane. Everybody has to humble themselves and, apologize for whatever was wrong or whatever. But everybody doesn't want to do that. Thanks for watching or listening to this crazy ass show. Me talk about this crazy ass show. This is the Dad Show podcast. I gotta go watch the reunion. I don't know when I'm gonna do that. Both are out. Hopefully, it's only two. It shouldn't be more than two, because they really only didn't. All they talked about was Panthea and Juliet, her clothing line, and then them two. She didn't really, you know, we saw one or two cakes. And the whole thing was every time we saw, I think Amanda really solo in a solo scene talked about Juliet, maybe once or twice. But she keeps talking about Amanda, and it's just like, why are you so obsessed with me? I don't get it. This is the Dirt Show podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.